This is ABC.
Eye on Business is brought to you by Sprint Business. We help your business do more business. And by Ernst & Young, LLP, founders of the Entrepreneur of the Year Institute and Awards Program. And by Silicon Valley Bank, Beyond Banking, Partners for Innovation. And now, Karen Ryan.
Welcome to Eye on Business, the new America, where we report on which companies are shaping the new economy and how business people are reacting to worldwide change. What was once considered exotic technology, 3D video graphics, is now something that just about every teenager in America knows cold. Just listen to a group of high school kids debating the merits of various computer games. A lot of companies in Silicon Valley are working on 3D in one form or another, but Mike Gaines has found one company that appears to have developed an extraordinary formula for success on the desktop and in the marketplace.
Let's talk restaurants for a minute. What does it take to run a successful one? Well, you need good food and good chefs to cook it, and a well-equipped kitchen and a dining room and a few other things. And you hope the customers pour in. But what if you could land the customers without actually needing a kitchen, or the chefs, or the food, but just by selling the recipes? That's the concept of intellectual property, and it's the business model that GigaPixel is built on. The tiny Santa Clara startup shows its customers how to cook up gourmet computer chips.
A company like GigaPixel develops intellectual property, finds a partner who can take this intellectual property, manufactures it, and sells that manufactured product containing our intellectual property into their channels. Every time they make a sale, we get a small royalty, so it's an absolute win-win for us and our partner. What we sell to our customers is the knowledge how they can make an extremely high performance chip, very similarly to selling the cookbook instead of selling the meal. Okay. And if you sell a cookbook that has some phenomenal recipes, then anybody that reads that cookbook, follows the steps described in that cookbook, can create phenomenal meals. You only worry about what's in your head, you don't worry about overhead, and you focus on what you're best at.
And what GigaPixel is best at is designing high-quality, high-speed chips for 3D graphics, the images you see in video games. GigaPixel says its technology is far superior to anything that has come before.
We're doing something that's completely different than the well-accepted way. It gets better performance, it costs less money to implement, but the internals of it are completely new, completely different.
What GigaPixel technology will do, it will allow you to get images that are a lot more realistic and inside scenes where multiple characters, these 3D characters or objects are moving and interacting together.
Say you're playing a game and you're walking around, everything's running smoothly, but maybe the action starts getting really heavy, there's complexity in the scene, and all of a sudden the game machine starts drawing very slowly and it starts stuttering and just kind of jerky motions, and you kind of lose a sense of realism. What's neat about our architecture is that even when the game gets very complex and the scene, all kinds of action is happening, that's when our architecture performs the best and allows it to keep the game running very smoothly and keeps that realism, especially at those kind of critical points in the gameplay. This kind of image quality, just a few years ago, would cost millions of dollars on a high-end military simulator. Now for a few $100s or even less, you can be seen on one's home PC.
That's GigaPixel's other breakthrough, developing this technology at low cost.
We are in this sort of PC/consumer space. In this space, cost is absolutely everything. If you can have great products, if it's very expensive, you can't sell anything. What we can do is, given the same level of cost for the same type of game, if you run on our hardware, it will be, say, 5 times, 10 times faster than everybody else. And the quality would look much, much better.
With the low cost comes versatility. 3D graphics can be used in everything from workstations to simulators to medical imaging. And someday, most internet data may be available in 3D.
The world is three-dimensional, yes? And computers today are just a mere two-dimensional representation of that world. Until we will get to the point that today's computers or today's games give you the impression that you live in that three-dimensional world, there is room for innovation, and this is where GigaPixel is going to play.
GigaPixel's only 10 months old, and its entire staff can still fit into one conference room for the weekly lunch get-together. But the company is already profitable, with a long list of customers who insist on non-disclosure.
The secret to a startup, it's very simple. I'm going to give you the recipe to a great startup. Find a well-known expert in a field who's a great technical guy. Find somebody who has a great business sense and the market that needs to get innovation, and the startup happens.
If you think about technology, technology is people. If you have excellent people, your chances for success really high.
And George Haber has the formula down pat. His colleagues in this venture include people who helped launch Sun Microsystems and Cirrus Logic. And Haber himself sold his first startup for $60 million. So why do people with that kind of money want to do the startup routine again? Haber says it's just too much fun not to.
I'm here because I love it. I love the process of creating value, of being part of Silicon Valley's history, of carving somehow a small piece of the future of computing and of game entertainment. The environment in Silicon Valley, the environment in GigaPixel is something phenomenal.
It's just amazing to develop something and work on something, create something where you can actually see it. Other computer professions are very interesting and challenging, but just aren't as exciting as a profession where you actually get to see visually what it is that you've been working on.
The really fun part is going out and buying video games at the local electronics store and running them through our simulator and seeing the results come out. It's the fun of the job is the reason that I'm here. The financial rewards everybody talks about, but it's not where it's at.
Just working with such brilliant people, it's great to be humbled by your coworkers every day. Everyone shares the same passion about 3D graphics. We all get very excited about it. Just a very healthy, exciting environment.
GigaPixel is clearly headed for either an IPO or a merger somewhere down the road. Haber says he just wants to help his employees and investors get rich. That's the dream of every startup, but at GigaPixel, it may just become a 3D reality.